Welcome to Evanston, Illinois. Dave Revson along with BTN.com. Senior writer Tom Dienhart, who has shared with us his three big impressions at every stop along the way on our BTN bus tour. This is the final stop here, so we got a chance to see Pat Fitzgerald and the Wildcats. What stood out to you, Tom?
Yeah, number 14, Dave, it's been a long haul, buddy. I was watching the linebackers today. Of course, Anthony Walker Jr. turned pro early, leaving a big void in that core, but I still think it could be a pretty good group of linebackers. I really like number 10, Welsh. I think he's a guy who really moves well and goes sideline to sideline with a lot of velocity. I tell you what, number 32, Nate Hall, may be the best of the bunch, I think, in linebacker for these guys. And Dave, I tell you what, Patty Fisher, 6'4", 245 pounds, he's one of the bigger linebackers you're going to see in the Big Ten all year.
Yeah, Howard Griffith, I know, really impressed with Patty Fisher. In fact, he was his best thing that he saw here at Northwestern. So linebacker's a spot where you think maybe they don't lose much ground, even with losing Anthony Walker. What else stood out?
I tell you what, the wide receivers, I know Austin Carr has gone the Big Ten Receiver of the Year last year. So who's going to be the new go-to wide receiver for Clayton Thorson? All eyes for me were on Jalen Brown, the Oregon transfer. He's a speedy wide receiver. Before practice, Mick McCall, the OC, told me he's playing very well for these guys. Flynn Nagel is a veteran option to keep your eye on. He could emerge as well. And don't forget about the superback, Garrett Dickerson. I think one of the more underrated players in the Big Ten. He's a senior, Dave, and he could be a real go-to guy for Clayton Thorson.
Now, they have a number of guys who can catch the ball. Riley Lees has had a really good camp, so I think they feel like even though Austin Carr was a Blitnikoff finalist last year, they still have some options there that they feel good about at wide receiver. So those are two of the spots. Where else?
You know, the defensive line, I think, has a chance to be pretty good. And anytime you have a nice line, you have a chance to have a pretty solid defense. I was told this could be Pat Fitzgerald's fastest team yet. And there's some athletic ability up front, but Joe Graziani, one end, is more of a run-stuffing type of an end who can get a push up the field. Jordan Thompson's a nice guy on the inside, but Dave, the guy I really like a lot is number 1, Tyler Lancaster. He's listed at 6'4", 315 pounds, but he looks even bigger than that. He's going to be a real load on the interior for opposing offensive lines to try to wedge out of there if they want to run the ball.
It could have something to do with wearing that number 1 jersey that makes him look bigger.
Bizarre.
It's just he needs another number on there to balance it out. Of course, that's a very special jersey here at Northwestern, given to the team's best leader. All right, Tom Dienhart, it has been fun.
Yes, sir.
On the bus tour to hear your observations, your big observations along the way. We'll look forward to doing it again next year as we crank it up at 3,700 miles in the books.